The Launchcast Reboots.
The Launchcast Reboots.
You're listening to The Launchcast, your favorite podcast on the planet, brought to you by Launchpad 516 Studios with me, your host, George Andriopoulos. We're talking leadership, business, life, and growth right now as the countdown starts.
It's like food for your ears.
At this time, I'm going to ask that you fasten your seatbelts.
Launch sequence.
Launch sequence activated.
Launch sequence activated.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Woo! Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Launchcast. Episode 312, the holiday giving show on the Launchcast Reboots. We got another reboot for you as we prepare for this year's holiday show and get all the next few episodes in order. I'm bringing you one of my favorite episodes ever. But first, it's the Launch Dad himself, George Andriopoulos, bringing you your favorite podcast on the planet. Leadership, business, life, growth, right now as the beat drops.
Into the black hole.
What is happening, my friends? George Andriopoulos back with another episode of the Launchcast, and it's another reboot. It's the Launchcast Reboots. On episode 312, we bring you these every so often. You know we're shaking shit up. We like to keep it fresh. We like to bring you guys new content constantly. And even though this is technically old content, we repackage it and bring it to you right at the perfect time. It's holidays, guys. It's the holiday season. It is December right now, early December. I just celebrated my 42nd birthday over the weekend. It's been a blast of a month already. And I wanted to bring you one of my favorite episodes from last season. This was actually the season 2 premiere, and it was called The Holiday Giving Show, the one where we pretended to be Oprah for an hour. What happened here? We had my good friends, two of my best friends, James Battaglia and Dana Battaglia here, my co-founders from Shannon's Fight, an organization that is so close to my heart and really helped build the man you see before you today, or here before you, I should say. Yeah, and they were sort of my co-hosts for the episode, and we brought on 4 of my favorite charities because the holidays are forgiving. That's what we talked about last week on our little tiny soapbox show that we did about giving. That was the Giving Tuesday episode, I think. So we had 4 of my favorite charities on. We had the Long Island Coalition Against Bullying and Joe Salmon to tell you a little bit about what they do. We had Dave Thompson from the Nicholas Center, and also representing Spectrum Designs and all the good stuff they have going on there. We had Dana Lopez, our good friend Dana Lopez from the Interfaith Nutrition Network, the IN, and of course we had Matt Campo, CEO of the Ronald McDonald House New York Metro on, and some crazy stuff happened. You talk about holiday giving. Take a listen to this episode if you've never heard it before. And let us know what you think. Sound off, contact us on social media, on the DMs, whatever. Let me know what you thought of this episode. Let me know if you want us to do something like this again. But without further ado, it's the Holiday Giving Show. Launchcast Reboots. Let's go. We wanted to do a special holiday show to get you in the feel. So hold on. Let's bring some holiday music here. There we go. Little jingle bells for you guys as I talk you through it. Holiday Giving Show. So we wanted to talk about, 2020, what has happened, COVID, the whole deal. We've gone over this ad nauseum a million times. And I think that at the end of this year, we need to take stock of what has been good this year, what we can do to sort of change things around, right? To turn this around for next year, get a good start to 2021. So I thought of this idea for the holiday show and talking about holiday giving, how important it is, how good it makes us feel, how much it helps out in the world. So I have quite a few guests today. So the first two that I'm going to bring on, which you saw briefly because of a technical difficulty, because that's how we roll here at the Launchcast, technical difficulties. I'm going to bring on from Shannon's Fight. Where are you guys? Let's see. Look at those two beautiful faces. James and Dana Battaglia. Dr. Dana and James Battaglia.
That's right.
What is happening, my friends?
Hey, George.
Let me bring myself on here. Oh, all right. Here we go. Look at
There you
you.
are.
Oh, hello there.
Go closer. Get in there tight, you two.
We have to get as close as we've been in a very long time to fit into the screen.
Perfect. Stay like that forever.
This actually hurts my back a little.
So James and Dana, two of my closest friends, they are my co-founders, co-board members at Shannon's Fight. And I actually let Dana, our president, jump in and talk a little bit about Shannon's Fight, how we were founded, and then we'll get into it.
Great. Okay. So Shannon's Fight, oh my gosh, it was such an organic thing that happened. So you had 5 really passionate friends who happened to be 5 insanely fanatic martial artists who had a friend in crisis. And we really didn't know what to do. Our friend, our beloved Shannon, was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer. And there were times where we didn't know, how the future was going to be with her. So we came to her, and I remember when we would have conversations at her bedside and asked her, what could we do for you to give you a cause? And she said, I want a foundation. And the 5 of us made it happen.
Yeah, we
And
did.
it's one of the things that I'm so proud of. The 5 of us are still friends. We are board members. And we've helped many families over the years. So it's a project very near and dear to my heart. And I'm just thankful every day.
Yeah. I couldn't have said it better myself. What was so cool about the experience with Shannon's Fight, and I've talked about this a lot on the show, is that that was for me my first real foray into the nonprofit world, and had a huge effect on me in terms of how I approached life after that, right? And how I approach business. And I just want to tell anybody out there that is looking to get involved in anything, man, and anybody that's on this show today can tell you the same thing. What a life changer. I mean, it opens up new possibilities. It opens up just new pieces of you that you never thought were there. And it's because of the generous and giving spirit of so many others out there that we were able to do some really cool stuff with Shannon's Fight.
And what was amazing was the synergy, right? Because we each had different backgrounds and different skills and different contacts. And somehow we came together and we made it explode. Yeah.
It was insane. But we're not here to talk about Shannon's Fight today. Shannon's Fight is, we did our thing a while ago, and now it's time to just let the other charities out there do their thing and shine, and that's what today is about. So if you guys don't mind, you want to stay on with all our guests today, shoot the shit a little bit. All right, cool.
You bet.
Perfect. So our first guest, returning guest, let me bring him on the screen too. There he is. Look at that beautiful face. Another beautiful face. Joe Salmon from the Long Island Coalition Against Bullying. So let me do am I going to do the bio now? I'm going to do the mission of the organization since you've been on before. It's old news, Joe. LICAB
Much better that way.
provides programming and resources to assist and support children, families, and schools with bullying-related issues. The mission of the Long Island Coalition Against Bullying is emphasizing the importance of bully-free communities on Long Island through education, increased awareness, and therapeutic outlets. And I know firsthand this is an incredible organization in our area. Tell us about it, Joe.
Well, thank you for having me on again. So we've kind of whittled down. We've been spending this time trying to figure out how to perfect the elevator pitch. In business, you know, for profit or nonprofit, you always talk about the elevator pitch. How do you sell yourself in the shortest amount of time? Which I've already expired, by the way. So we're here for three reasons, to answer three questions. The first question is, how do you find kids and families who are struggling with bullying, which is probably the most difficult of the three questions, because most kids do not share it with their parents or really other adults. They tend to share it with themselves. But once you've found them, then you got to figure out what you would do to help them. So that's where our programs and our resources come in: the subsidized therapy, the care packages, the scholastic tutoring that we subsidized scholastic tutoring that we offer, and myriads of other programs. And then the third question is, how do you prevent further instances of bullying from happening? It's great when you can help the kids that are going through it, but you also want to make sure that those kids and other kids don't share similar circumstances again in the future.
Yeah. I want to talk a little bit today about 2020, right? And how 2020 has affected nonprofits, especially in our area here. New York got hit super hard, just like the rest of the country. But being so close to so many nonprofits, getting the inside scoop, I've just seen how fundraising has just been destroyed. And a lot of nonprofits out there have had to pivot how they operate. So talk to me a little bit about how that has transpired this year.
Well, to put a number on it from our perspective, going back to December, I had told our board my 2020 outlook was we need to start breaking away from our reliance on in-person fundraising events. I did not have any idea that the universe was going to figure out a way of forcing us to do that, but it certainly did. So to put a number on it, we lost about $85,000 to $90,000 in revenue this year because of the fact that we lost two events, our golf outing and our gala, which at the time, we didn't tell your guests the last time I was on, but you were slated and are still slated to be our gala honoree when we are allowed to have a gala again. But between those two events, we took a major hit. In November, we did have a socially distant bike tour out east at Wading River, and we netted about $14,000-15,000 from that. So thankfully, that and the money we still had in the bank, helped us a great deal. The one benefit that I think we do maintain is, for right now, we are all still a volunteer operation. So the benefit to us was that we did not have to worry about what other nonprofits have to worry about, which is how do you make sure your staff still puts food on their table? Without that hanging over our head, it made it a little easier to stomach the idea that we were going to, lose this money, but it still, hurt nonetheless.
Yeah, and I think people out there should understand that, the business of the nonprofit and the mission of the nonprofit, there's a parallel alignment there, and a lot of people don't realize how important it is to support, right? I made it no secret last time you were on, you helped me out big time. My daughter had an incident at school, and even though it was just the smallest little thing, right? We addressed it. I had spoken to you to get some advice. He sent over one of those smile packages to her. It made her week and gave her a better understanding of what had transpired. Without funding, without fundraising, without these events, this stuff can go away. And that's what people really need to understand during this holiday season. If you're looking to do anything and support your favorite nonprofit, you have to get out there and do it. I'm not doing this as a plea and trying to guilt people into this thing, but this is the fact of the matter. It's true.
I think you're spot on it. And I think the way we have to start looking at nonprofits is in a little bit of a different prism. Yes, I think nonprofits, as we put ourselves in this box, we're always looking for money. It's kind of the nature of the beast. However, look at what the world around you might look like if nonprofits that you just assume will always be there are no longer there because they didn't have the funding to survive. So right now, there are families out there who might say, it's okay, Launchpad is out there, because they have that security right now. And while we don't intend to disappear, when the funding stops because of circumstances like COVID, imagine what the world might look like if Launchpad wasn't there. You didn't have that security. Those families who were struggling with bullying, their kids coming home and having issues and didn't want to go back to school the next day, and there was nobody else to call. So I think when you think of it in that prism, it changes people's mindsets of being able to say, you know what, maybe I can't really afford it, but I'm going to try to figure out a way of supporting, and just kind of looking at things in a little bit of a different prism.
Yeah, amazing. I want to talk for a minute about the pivot in 2020. You mentioned before, and I was so honored, when you called on me to be your honoree this year or whatever for this next gala. You guys are.
It better be 2021. It better be.
We're hoping. We had a little partnership, right? We have some stuff going on.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell the folks at home what is happening here?
So in the world of pivot, it became the favorite word of for-profit and nonprofit businesses in 2020, pivot. And the other cliche phrase was, we're learning how to fly the plane as we're building it. Those were the two phrases of the year. So we are going to start looking, and have already started looking, much more down the road of technology. How do we employ technology and the different avenues it opens up to get our mission more out there, as well as being able to execute better on the programs we offer the community. So the program we're working on with you, which we still have not launched yet, is going to be a fully online learning platform, similar to a Google Classroom, that specifically brings anti-bullying curriculum into school districts so that we do not have to worry about sending teams into schools, as well as the school district doesn't have to worry about asking outsiders to come in. That particularly is of importance while we still try to walk the fine line of, are we still in the pandemic? Are we coming out of it? How soon are we coming out of it? All of those things doesn't mean that curriculum doesn't need to happen. So this is our way of being able to access school districts to that curriculum without putting the students or our team on our side in any kind of a potential health danger.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was so cool when you and I had talked about doing this thing. Truth be told, this was a platform that I had built for my coaching business. And when I sort of realized what the implications would be for some other organizations, and you and I had talked, I think there were just a number of things that came to mind when we had that first meeting. And so having now built the beginning foundation of it and spoken to a few other organizations and school districts, and we see the potential in it. I'm excited for next year, man. I'm really excited.
As are we. We've gotten some of the districts that have seen it so far. We've teased them with it. They're very excited about it. It's got us a lot of new eyes looking at us, which is always good. But we're very excited for it. Of course, it also allows us the opportunity to, even when the pandemic ends or subsides at least, and we can be going into districts a bit more, it gives us that much more of an ability to kind of be more than one place at one time. If a school district wants a workshop on the same day that we might have a physical person, we might be able to access them to this until we're able to get there. And it kind of, still, accomplishes and checks all the boxes.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. Last thing before we move on to our next nonprofit, I want you to tell people how they can help right now. It is Christmas time. Let's do it.
So we just got done talking about money, but in actuality, how you can help is a little different. Yes, of course, we need donations, but I feel like the better thing that families can do and adults can do is ask the question. There seems to be this school of thought now with COVID that bullying is not happening. because kids aren't in school, or 100% of kids are not in school and on top of each other. And that somehow means in some people's minds that bullying just went away. That's not the case, particularly in the world of cyberbullying, where so many more kids are looking at screens and being trusted to be doing what they should be doing while they're on their tablets and their screens during the course of a day. Ask the question at dinner. Bring it up in a non-judgmental way. Are you seeing it? Do you know anybody who's experiencing it? Have you ever experienced it? Do you feel like the people around you are doing enough to help you and support you? If you ask the question, you don't ever know the answer, you might get to it. So yeah, we need money, but kids need the help. We've got enough money right now. I'm more interested in making sure the kids are getting the resources and the help they need. And the only way we're going to be able to do that is by moving away from this theory that somehow this has gotten better just because we're in a pandemic. Because I think the growing problem we may experience is when we wave the magic wand and somebody out there says, okay, everybody can go back to school, the coast is clear. So many of our kids have gone through something that a lot of them have not dealt with. And most kids who bully other kids, it's because they don't know how to deal with impacts to their own lives. Now we're going to send everybody back to school, get everybody back on top of each other again. And the problem that I foresee is kids acting out against others because of the ramifications that they've been put through because of the pandemic that were never resolved. So we may think the coast is clear right now, and then we're going to go back to school and we're going to find a bigger problem and kind of the residuals of the pandemic still waiting for us. So this problem is very much out there, which is why I implore parents and any adult in a kid's life, your grandchildren, your nieces, your nephews, your neighbors, whoever they are, ask the question, take an interest, and if they tell you that they're experiencing something, reach out to us and we can help you.
Amazing. Joe, thank you for being here, buddy.
Thank you very much.
In the spirit of giving, Launchpad 516, my company, we got a $500 donation coming to you guys this week.
Thank you.
And we thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, buddy. Talk soon.
Thank you. All right.
Awesome guy, right?
Yeah.
You guys think about that organization. You guys are local, so I'm sure you have heard about them.
Yeah, I think when you think about bullying, you always think about like the kid getting pushed in the lunchroom. But, with the internet, things spread so fast with kids and things get hateful pretty quickly. I would imagine that in some ways it's worse that these kids are kind of isolated at home with no other friends and, so easily bullied online.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. When we were, so our process right now in developing that whole online virtual platform for LICAB, which is called LICAB University. I saw some of the programming that they're building for it. They send it over to us when they're ready to turn it into an actual course. And it's incredible to see the depth of bullying, right? How people, like you said, people think on the surface that it's what bullying used to be, but there's so many more layers now to it. And their programs are incredible in terms of like getting people to understand that and to eradicating it or trying to eradicate it.
Yeah.
All right. Next, as he takes his Red Bull shot, I see you, Dave Thompson. Santa Dave, welcome.
Hey.
This is Dave Thompson.
It was.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, it's
It's
Perrier.
a Perrier.
It's
Okay.
not a big deal. Yeah.
I don't think any less of you if it was a Red Bull. You have a ringer can there?
I can't have coffee after 3, man.
Can I tell you, I went to Dunkin' before. I needed Dunkin' is not a sponsor, by the way, but they could be if they wanted. I went to Dunkin' because I needed a little zip before the show to get in the mode, but I knew that if I took a turbo shot at 6 p.m. that I'd be up till like 3 a.m. So I asked the guy to actually pour me half a turbo shot in my coffee, and he was like, "What? Is that a thing?" I was like, "No, you can charge me for all of the turbo shot. Just give me half." And he goes, "What do you want me to do with the other half?" And I was like, I don't think you want me to answer that, buddy. Dave Thompson from the Nicholas Center. Dave is an alum of the Launchcast and, of course, TEDx Farmingdale, because he's wearing the shirt. Nicholas Center
is the only green and red thing I own.
Nicholas Center is a nonprofit human services agency with locations in Port Washington and Pleasantville, New York. Newly Pleasantville, New York. Since 2011, Nicholas Center has been spearheading neurodiverse hiring initiatives and other innovative, inclusive opportunities for differently abled young people who think differently. Their latest venture, born during quarantine this past March, the Zoomiverse, so excited to talk about that, seeks to expand their offerings virtually to anyone, anywhere. I'm not going to do the Dave bio because we've been there and done that. Welcome, Dave.
So good to be here, man.
Yeah,
Thanks
man,
so
I'm
much.
excited to have you. I want to talk about all things Nicholas, all things you want to talk about Spectrum too. You know, we've been keeping in close contact this year, and it's funny because I've actually seen since quarantine started, your level of busyness has like skyrocketed. Like you are literally never available to shoot the shit with me during the day anymore. So tell me about Nicholas Center first. Everything you guys got going on there.
Yeah, so Nicholas Center is a nonprofit started in Port Washington in 2011. We just expanded to Pleasantville, New York, as you said, and virtually, which we can get into. But our mission is to support individuals with autism and differing abilities in leading more full and productive lives. We do that in a number of ways, namely, since 2011, we've been the exclusive partner agency of another nonprofit that was founded at the same time called Spectrum Designs Foundation. Spectrum Designs employs about 20, almost 30 of the individuals that I support in the apparel decoration industry. We make apparel for companies like Google and Uber and the Metro North Railroad, as well as Spectrum Bakes, which is a gourmet granola business, and Spectrum Suds, which is a boutique laundry business in the Port Washington area. They just expanded to Pleasantville as well. But that's not all Nicholas Center does. We also have a lot of other amazing community inclusion opportunities and work readiness programming. We do everything from volunteering at North Shore Animal League to local delis and soup kitchens and thrift stores. We also have our own news program, which was partially inspired by when I went on the Launchcast and saw how easy it was for you to click around and make it look so cool. So we just completed our 12th episode, rounding out 2020 for a news show hosted and written and produced by neurodiverse young people and talking about the issues that they want to talk about and what's going on in the Nicholas Center world, which is really exciting. And now we have the Zoomiverse, which is a whole nother thing. And thanks to our pivot into remote learning and figuring out how we can make this all work this year.
Yeah, so it's not all disaster and thunder and lightning during this pandemic. I mean, for the most part, it is. But I've seen you guys thriving. I see, with this new location, there is so much happening. We actually did an event together, which was so much fun. You guys had an author they did a Q&A with, and you asked me to moderate it, which was such a cool event. That was actually my first virtual hosting gig ever, which was cool. Really, really cool. But yeah, so much good stuff coming from this. I hate to keep using that word pivot because it's so overused this year, but damn it, you guys did it.
Yeah, no, we sure did. And I'll never forget the date, March 13th, being the last day that we were in person in Port Washington. And we were just about to open our second location and everything, and realizing that everything was shutting down. We were actually going to collaborate for something for Special Olympics a couple weeks before, and I had to uninvite you because we weren't allowed to have people in our building.
Yeah.
And you were like, "Really, dude?" Because I'm like a step ahead of this because I work with the state and everything. And I was like, "Yeah, man, you can't come by." Like, we didn't have thermometers yet or anything. And so that weekend, the weekend of March 14th and 15th, we built an entire remote platform using Zoom and Google Slides and YouTube, and it was very piecemeal at first, and it hasn't gone anywhere. Over time, we've slowly formalized it, and for all the people saying how difficult it is for young people to be learning online and be supported online, I don't doubt that. I know that it's true, and I've seen it, and there's plenty of people that unfortunately we weren't able to provide a meaningful opportunity to in the Zoomiverse. But for every story I have like that, I have about 10 of the most inspiring breakthroughs during that time for a number of reasons. Thanks to a lot of hard work, but also thanks to the way the neurodiverse brain, including my own, works. And we've just seen breakthroughs in language and ability and retention and really meaningful relationships and friendships building during that time. So it's been really, really inspiring.
Yeah. Yeah, I see Dana nodding along there. What is going on over there? Talk to me, Dana.
No, I mean, it's the truth. I've seen so much conflict, right? And so much sadness and tragedy and thunderstorms. But then I also have seen so many moments of light, you know, in our students, in our clients. And I'm agreeing with you because I've seen it. And it's important for me because on the day in and day out, I forget that.
Yeah.
You know, on a personal level. And then I realized how much has changed. I don't think what we're going through is all that bad because there have been some threads of really positive change. And we've been able to reach more people. And we're getting more efficient at it.
Yeah.
So I think that initial shock and drama in March, I was thinking on March 13th exactly where I was when I got the text that said it was going to be a full shutdown. The shock, you know, the unknown, the fear of the unknown, which we still have. But we've become more tolerant of the unknown or more creative with the unknown, as opposed to, you know, just living in fear.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I know half my face is here. I'm sorry.
I love how you get close to the camera. I would imagine
that doesn't like cover James. But
I would imagine this is how, if my grandmother used Zoom, this is what she'd be doing. She'd be, let me switch cameras. She'd be like, can you hear me?
It's about right.
I screwed them all up. Let me get everybody back on. Look at me.
All right.
All right, now I'm on the left. Whatever.
There we go. Oh, we're in the middle now. How did that happen?
Look at you guys. Center of attention, as always.
Oh, great. Thanks.
Dave, so you guys have pivoted. You guys have been thriving. Where is there a lack right now? Where can people help? How can people help right now?
I would say just keep us in mind. Give us a shot. You're the ultimate person to talk to about this because you did give us a shot. In 2019, you offered a TED Talk, not to me, but to my partner who has autism. He's on the autism spectrum. And I was there too. And it was about giving people a shot who think differently. And that it's not just charity or a favor. It's good business. It feels good. It's just smart. And so people, it's in everyone's own best interest to give people a shot. So check us out, tncnewyork.org. The Zoomiverse.com is for our new remote learning platform that's going to be, it's out now, but it'll be getting better and better over the coming months. And just ask yourself all the time how you can be part of making a more inclusive world for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. I also want to throw out there, Spectrum Bakes. Man, those treats that you've been sending over to me. It started with the little balls last year, and then those bars that you brought over before TEDx Farmingdale this year were incredible. So can you just speak a little bit about Spectrum Bakes and let people know how they can?
Yeah. So Spectrum Bakes is a great thing for our friends watching nationally, a way to get involved in the neurodiverse hiring and the Spectrum Designs Foundation world. Spectrum Bakes is the best granola products that you've ever had. There is a few reasons for each business that we've chosen to go into. for the people that we support, namely that there's like concrete steps and it's very precise, certain things that other people would get bored to death with. A lot of the individuals I support actually consider kind of almost therapeutic or comforting to take part in. So they are able to bake the best granola products with the most precision. It's all. I remember. I'm sorry.
I said, and consistency.
Yeah, no, of course they do.
Always.
The same way every single time. And you know, your purchase doesn't just taste good. You're doing good just by purchasing something for yourself. So it always feels good to show up to a party or to show up to an event that George invites me to, and to bring Spectrum Bakes. It's not just like stopping at Stop and Shop on the way or whatever. It matters. It's impactful, and so it feels really, really good. You never think that you're going to be screen printing for good, or doing embroidery for good, or doing laundry for good, or baking for good. And those are all, everyone can put their skills, everyone can have something to offer, and everyone can do whatever they're good at, something positive. And it's an amazing thing to be a part of and see every day. Check it out on spectrumbakes.org.
Love it. Thank you, buddy. Again, in the spirit of giving, Launchpad 516 has $500 coming to the Nicholas Center. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
You got it, man.
That's
Anytime.
awesome. That's a lot of granola stuff.
Send me over more bakes.
Thank you so much, man.
All right, buddy. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it. Fabrizio, our mailbag has been blowing up lately with questions about the Launchcast and our beautiful studios here and how we produce this whole thing. What do you think? You think it's time that we give them the secret? Yeah, I think so. Hit me with some dreamy stuff. Good. Guys, it's time to tell you that the Launchcast, your favorite podcast on the planet, is now produced by Launchpad 516 Studios. What is Launchpad 516 Studios, you ask? Well, I'm going to tell you. It is our brand new podcast production company operating right here at Launchpad 516. Who am I talking to right now? I am talking to people with an existing podcast. I am talking to people with an idea for a podcast. I am talking to anybody that has an important message to get out there, and they want to do it on the biggest platform on the planet, podcasting. Guys, hit me up with all of your questions. I'm going to fill you in a little bit right now on how we do this. So, podcast production from us means we are doing everything from the admin side of producing your show, to filming, recording, and editing, to post-production, to monetization of your show. Fabrizio, they like that. Monetization. That means you get to make money on your hobby and turn this into a potential career. We are bringing on a ton of shows under the Launchpad 516 Studios banner, and I am so excited to get this thing started. Contact me at Launchpad CEO on Instagram, Facebook, or hit us up on the email, media@launchpad516.com. You are not going to want to miss this opportunity, guys. This is going to be big. All right. Great guy.
That's fun.
Great guy. Let's move on to Ms. Dana Lopez. Mrs. Sorry. I don't know why I said Ms. It was more dramatic. Dana Lopez. D-Lo. You are muted. Please unmute yourself. You are the worst.
Of course. 10 months in, I don't know how to unmute myself. I'm sorry.
Dana Lopez. Dana Lopez is from the Interfaith Nutrition Network, and their mission as a nonprofit volunteer-based organization, the IN provides a broad variety of essential services to assist those challenged by hunger, homelessness, and profound poverty. They partner with those in need in a dignified and respectful manner to help them achieve self-sufficiency. The IN is such a great organization, guys. And if you haven't guessed yet, I'm bringing all my friends on here today because I have a lot of nonprofit friends. My friend Dana, who I met through my friends, Dana and James here, who are the godparents of my daughter. Come on. This is how we roll. This is how we roll. I don't bring in anybody I don't know here. If I don't know you, you're never coming on the Launchcast ever. And Dana Lopez is
George.
Are you're the director of marketing communications still, or are you like the president by now? What is happening?
Oh, no. I am the director of marketing and communications. This is what I do. I talk about the inn. That's basically it.
Talks about the inn, and she's so good at it. Dana has been such a help. First of all, Dana herself, before we get to the inn, has always helped us. She has helped us with Shannon's Fight anytime we need her her PR services. She has helped us with TEDx Farmingdale. She is always there to lend a hand. She's always calling me with if something's going on in Farmingdale, my town, she calls me and she's like, what do we got? You're the mayor of Farmingdale. What's going on? What can we do here? Right. So, so Dana, talk to us about the inn. Talk to us about 2020 in the inn. What is going on this year?
Well, oh man. Well, I don't know. Do you have 3 hours? I'm not really sure. So.
I do actually. You know,
the Inn is an organization that I have been working for 7 years. It is near and dear to my heart. I do work there, but I believe in what we do, and what we do is serve hungry and homeless Islanders, as we say, with dignity, respect, and love, and that comes through in everything we do. We operate the largest soup kitchen on Long Island, Mary Brennan Soup Kitchen in Hempstead. We also have a resource center to help people with the next level, past basic needs. And we also have shelters. We have emergency shelters and long-term housing shelters. And 2020 has been quite a ride. I mean, it's the same theme over and over again, right?
Sorry, now I muted myself. What a show. Guys, how can you get a show this classy with this many mistakes? In all honesty, I haven't done this since September, and I haven't been in this studio for how many months? I can't do math anymore. 8 months now. So excuse me if I dropped the ball a couple of times. My bad. So back to my question. What are the challenges that 2020 has given you guys? I know that we've sort of talked in generalities, and I think everybody is feeling the same type of difficulty in terms of fundraising. But I want to get specific, because our audience, and especially our local audience, they need to understand how much the inn helps locally here, and how we can help. So what have been the difficulties that you guys have run into this year?
Well, I mean, everybody's been through some sort of struggle this year, whether it's health or their career. We have obviously a rise in unemployment rates here and all over the country. Basically, for us, what that means is that more people that didn't necessarily need help before now need help, as in its simplest terms. People are losing their jobs. They're not able to, they may have been living paycheck to paycheck already. So the pandemic was just sort of like, pushed a little over the edge. At the inn, we usually serve hot meals inside a soup kitchen, where 300-400 people could be sitting in our building at once having a hot meal. We couldn't do that. You're talking about pivot. We're talking about, unprecedented times and having to sort of turn on a dime. We've done all of it. So instead of having people come into the building now, into the soup kitchen, we're now serving literally outside the front door, like a drive-through soup kitchen, or walk-through, if you want to put it in that way. We created these plexiglass booths with windows, and our staff and our volunteers are packing up lunch bags and now hot meals in to-go packages, and literally pushing them out windows through the front door. We're seeing, at last count, probably almost 1,000 new people that we hadn't seen before, that we had never seen. Some, in some cases, may have supported us in the past and on some level, that now need our services, which is, we always say that at any given moment, you can be on one side of the counter and, in a split second, you can be the person who's receiving the services on the other side. We're very aware of how realistic that is, how real you could be the one giving and then the one receiving, based on any type of circumstance. We saw it during, I wasn't, I wasn't working there during Sandy, but at the inn, they saw it during Sandy, they saw it during 9/11, they saw it during all kinds of things that are going on in the country affect people's circumstances. So we're seeing a lot of it right now.
Yeah. I want to ask you real quick about our other two guests have actually been on before as guests. Dave Thompson and Joe Salmon both were guests on the show, and so we had the leadership conversation. You actually were on here as my co-host for one of our episodes with who was on, Trisha, that one?
Yes.
Yeah, you were my co-host for the Trisha episode. So I never really got to ask you the leadership question. So before we move on to close, I want to ask you right now this year in terms of what you guys do there. What is a leader to the inn? What does that mean to you guys?
Well, I think it was Joe earlier that said that they're a fully volunteer-centric organization. So while we do have paid staff that work for our organization, we're made up of mostly volunteers. And I would say that in my entire life, I have never seen more dedicated, passionate people than those volunteers. So to answer the question about being a leader, I think that from the inn's perspective, a leader is somebody who not only talks the talk, but walks the walk. These people have been coming in for years. I mean, on average, 7 to 10 years. Every week they come in, they serve people out of the goodness of their hearts. They don't take anything for it besides a smile or somebody saying thank you or God bless you or you changed my life. That's why they do it, because they're making a difference. So hands down, a leader is somebody that makes a difference and serves as an example to somebody else, whether it's somebody else in your family, your children, or anyone that sees you doing something for somebody else without getting really anything in return in terms of reciprocation, but they do it anyway and they keep coming back. That's the leaders that we see every day at the end.
Yeah, well, that's what you guys see as a leader. We see you guys as leaders, right? What you do day in and day out, helping our local communities and helping to really change things. That's leadership to me, big time. And every little piece of it, every big piece of it, every part of the organization has such tremendous leadership. And these last couple of years, and I wasn't really aware of the inn before you started working there a few years ago. And these last couple of years, I've just been hearing about the inn so much. So you guys are just doing a fantastic job. And I'm not the only one that noticed. The good folks, my friends at Shannon's Fight, all of us, we noticed. So I'm going to throw it over to Dana for a second to tell you a little something.
So first
Keep
of
your
all,
shit together, Dana.
How much I love you for being
I love you too.
And for all of the work.
You too, James.
I know. When do you see us all in the same frame? Like, that's so weird.
This is awesome.
So, as you were saying, what is a leader? I got chills, throughout my whole body because we at Shannon's Fight have been talking about how to close out 2020, and I get the great privilege as the president of the organization to tell you that we have unanimously voted to give a $10,000 check to the inn.
No.
I know.
Oh my God.
Keep your shit together, ladies.
No.
In other words, we have a big package for you.
I was wondering what that shirt said.
I was waiting. I could only afford to give a little package to Nicholas Center and YCAB personally.
and so that shows the strength of women, George. You're
That's
welcome.
Right.
Oh my goodness. Oh, my heart's beating so fast, guys.
I know.
Thank you. That is, I can't even. Whew.
I said
That's
to
amazing.
Dana on the phone the other day, to Dana Lopez, I was like, you got to come on. I don't care what you have going on. You have to come on at 7:00. Something's going on. And she was like, are you like the new Oprah? So I was like, I can't answer that question. We have to get off the phone.
I
get $10,000.
You get a puppy. You get a puppy.
I'm floored right now, guys. I can't even tell you how much it means to be, to receive something like that. And, Joe said, I was listening to Joe a lot. I loved his views on perspective. And he said things about, of course, obviously we always need funds because that's how we run. As far as the end goes, we're privately funded. We're not getting a ton of money from the government, who is right now anyway, but it makes such a difference, not just for the food and things like that and the things that we provide for the guests, but something simple as keeping the lights on in the soup kitchen and in the shelters, like the stuff that's not as glamorous for the media. That's you. But it's necessary. Every single day, we've got to keep the lights on. We have to, make sure that we're able to provide as much as we can. And I will say that one of the things I love about the Inn is that what we have is what we give. We're not selling anything. We're not storing anything. We're not hoarding anything. Our CEO doesn't make, $5 million a year. It's not about that. It is about the people that we serve. So I am so honored and feel so blessed. And I can't even I'm freaking out right now. This is why.
I know. Oh, look, Joseph's here.
Hi, Joseph.
There he is.
I was wondering when he was going to show up.
Yeah, I know. It was 40 minutes. I didn't expect him to last that long. But, the one thing that you said to me that really struck that hit home was that we don't know what this life brings. And I know that I have been on the other end of the table when I've needed help. And people have helped me. You have helped me. George has helped me. It's not really just about you two. I'm just saying it's the gesture from the universe that we all are on the other side of the table at any given moment. And being blessed to be in a position where we can do this is a privilege. So we're so excited to share this with you.
Agreed.
You guys are amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we're happy to do it.
I think we all kind of, because we're working and we're okay, and we're doing okay this year. I think we kind of forget how many people are on the fringe. And it's so easy to cross over from one side to the other.
Very easy
for so many people. In a normal year, it's easy to happen. And this year, just thinking about how many people are out of work and couldn't pay their rent, or had to choose between food and heat for their homes. That's kind of what gave us the boost to try to help out.
Yeah. And I want to shout out, we were also supposed to have two of our other board members, Ed Catapano and Dawn Catapano, on today. Ed was working a little bit late, couldn't make it, and Dawn was camera shy to come on herself, I think. She said she didn't have equipment, but...
I bet they're
Dawn.
watching. So
I'm looking at you, Dawn. But I want to shout Dawn out because we had a little mini virtual meeting a couple of weeks ago, and Dawn was the one that threw these numbers out, and we were like, whoa, yeah, amazing. So shout out to Dawn Catapano for that.
Yes, and that's why she's the treasurer.
That's right. You can trust anybody else. All right, Dana, thank you for being on today.
Right.
We love you.
We love you. We'll be in touch.
I love you guys. Thank you so much.
Oh, that was awesome. Let's do this every day. Can we just give people $10,000 every day? All right. Last guest today. Let's bring his beautiful face on. Here he is.
Nice. Boy, that's a tough act to follow.
Mr. Matt Campo, the CEO of Ronald McDonald House Charities New York Metro. My friend Matt, I'll give you the brief synopsis here. Ronald McDonald House Charities New York Metro keeps families seeking medical treatment for their sick children near the care they need and the families they love. Matt Campo, but I'm not going to do you. You're the CEO. It's Ronald McDonald House. Everybody knows that.
Gosh, it's great to see you guys. George, how are you?
Good, buddy. Thank you for being here. James, Dan, I don't know if you guys have met. Have you met Matt before?
We've never met, but we've been planning on meeting.
I've heard some great things about you guys as we made those plans.
Same about you.
It's good to finally put faces with the names.
These are my people.
Yeah.
James was one of the guys that went shopping with me last year when we donated those the iPads and the
they were
and the
like
tablets.
kids in the candy store.
Oh, it was awesome. It was me, James, and Ed.
Thank you.
And we were just shopping electronics. It's what we do. It's our favorite thing to do.
It's awesome.
So, Matt, I want to talk to you. You've been on before. You and I have had more intimate conversations because I love Ronald McDonald House. One of my favorite charities for so many years, going back to like since I was in college. Of course, you and I have a relationship because I'm on the speakers bureau at the house there, and we've done a bunch of things together. And you're just great, man. And your organization is great. And I love everything about every time I go to that house. It's just like, it reminds me of why do you remember the one time last year where I think I gave a tour, I had to run to pick my daughter up and my goddamn car died in the parking lot and I had to get it towed and I wasn't even pissed and it was raining out and I was like, you know what? It's okay.
You came back in, you had coffee. I think there was probably some pastries somewhere along the line.
Yeah. But Matt, tell us about this year with Ronald McDonald House. We've talked before about the organization itself, but since we've talked 2020, what's going on?
Oh gosh, well, it's an honor and a privilege to be with you guys. It really is. And George, you are always very humble in talking about your involvement with our organization, but the reality is you are such a source of strength in so many different areas, not just at Speakers Bureau, but our relationship has just been so meaningful, especially over the last 2 years. So I appreciate that. I really do. I will echo a lot of what we've heard tonight. It's been a difficult year. We have had to figure out how to do things in a very different way. As some of our other guest speakers were talking about, whether it came to fundraising or really for us, whether it came to different ways of delivering our mission. We had to close the house for a brief period of time, and really we took our entire operation remote. We were serving families in the hospital. We were finding ways to deliver groceries to their homes because they couldn't stay here in the middle of the pandemic. And through it all, it's certainly made us a lot stronger. We've gotten very creative and really found ways to think outside the box, but it's been a challenge. In the midst of the pandemic, in the midst of COVID, kids and families still needed us very much. Kids didn't stop getting sick just because the house was closed or just because the hospitals were full. Despite it all, we've risen to the occasion. The organization has really found a way to thrive in the midst of all of this. And that's really a big portion of that is because we just have an amazing staff and amazing people that come out to support us. So,
yeah, I have come across Ronald McDonald House happens to just always like fall into my lap in terms of like doing something else, right? So I have my relationship with you, and then I wound up running an errand one day for Rotary Club, which I'm a part of, and we had oh man, it's gonna slip my mind now. The Give Life. I can't believe
Gift of Life.
Gift of Life. Gift of Life. We had two children from two different countries. I think one was from Croatia, one was from South America somewhere. One was getting a heart transplant, one was getting another procedure done at Cohen's, both of them. And we picked them up from the airport as part of Rotary, and we were sort of their guides while they were here. And they stayed at the house there. And I didn't know they were staying at the house, and I had donated gift bags to both of them with video games and this and that. And they were like, yeah, they're staying at Ronald McDonald's house. And I'm like, it's crazy how it just always, that connection is always there. And to me, it just means that you guys just do so much. You are a part of so many different lives. There are so many connections. We talk about the universe and all these threads, right? And just somehow for me, it always leads to Ronald McDonald House, which is why you guys are so special to me, and James and Dana have been part of. Oh, did you guys do the cooking thing when we were there?
But I'm very angry. We will be doing that.
Yeah, oh, you had to miss it. That's right. That's right. They had to miss it.
We were scheduled to.
Oh, that was so much fun.
As soon as we open back up, we'll get you guys
You're
in.
on.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, that was
Yeah.
so much fun. Matt, talk to me about what do you guys need this year? Like, what is the necessity?
It's really a perfect segue.
Yeah.
Without folks being able to come to the house to cook those meals, believe it or not, we need meals. People do that in a number of different ways. Sometimes they'll go out to a restaurant, they'll call the house, they'll schedule a date, and just like they used to, but they can't come here and physically cook it. So they'll go to their favorite restaurant, and depending on our occupancy, they'll order 25 meals or something like that. We've gone out to our donor base to also say you can sponsor a meal and we'll do it. So believe it or not, that's been one of our major strains, because we find that we are a hospitable organization. And one of the things we promise our families every night, we'll have a home cooked meal. We'll have something waiting for you when you get back from the hospital after a long day. So the needs are many, right? We have a lot of them, but it's one of the major ones.
Yeah. I'm going to post information on all the nonprofits that were on today. Links, how you can contact them, how you can donate and everything. I want to help you out in two ways. One is that I have a network of restaurants that are clients. I want to see if I can get something together, get some kind of train together where they can donate and send it to the house. Is anything going on out east yet, or is it all just in New Hyde Park?
So we have the same exact thing happening out east in that family room, where right now we're providing meals to families in the hospital. It's really one of the only things that they're getting at this point, because they can't access the family room the way they used to. So we are doing sort of a modified program there, where we're bringing in meals once a day, sometimes more, depending on if we can find them or not.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to connect you. I'll send out some emails and get you guys connected.
That's awesome.
And see what we can get going. The other thing is, based on the generosity of all my friends that are a part of Shannon's fight with me, we had this conversation a couple of weeks ago, and we gave that donation to Dana at the inn, and you guys are so close to my heart as well. We want to do the same thing for Ronald McDonald House. We have $10,000 for Ronald McDonald House, New York Metro, from Shannon's fight.
No kidding.
I'm going to get verklempt a little bit here.
I know.
Every time I come there, man, I want you to know that I look out that back window and I see Cohen there. All of us at Shannon's Fight used to spend days and hours and endless time supporting our friend Shannon and my sister-in-law Shannon.
I am not often speechless, guys.
So then we've done our job.
Yeah.
Well, look.
Come on, man.
There's two things going through my mind as
I forgot to show you the shirt first. I have a huge package.
There are two things going through my mind right now. How do I express gratitude for just that tremendous generosity? But more importantly, every time I see you, George, you find a way to convey to me how special this group of people and how special this mission is. So to be on the receiving end of a gift like this is just tremendous. I don't even know what to say.
You guys deserve it. Big time. Stop it.
Wow.
Just keep doing the work that you do, because it's just too important.
It just trust me, and when I say it, it helps in such a tremendous way, especially at this time of year. So thank you.
Keep doing that work.
blown
And if
away,
anybody
guys.
gets in your way doing that work, you call me. Because I've been working out. Well, I worked out a couple of times this year.
I was going to say, what are you going to do? Show them your shirt?
Holy moly. So much money. I mean, that's tremendous.
That should get you at least 30 meals.
Gift.
Yeah, 30 of my meals, maybe.
Should pay for the entire 6 months. Oh, guys, I cannot say thank you enough. holy moly. I forget this is live. Like, here I am, like, losing my mind.
We appreciate everything you do for the community, Matt, and just keep doing it. All right, buddy?
You got it.
All right, man. I'll catch up with you later or tomorrow.
You got it. Thank you guys
Merry
so much.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Matt.
Merry Christmas indeed.
Oh, that was good.
Okay.
Let's turn this one around. Episode 201, guys, the holiday giving show. I'll close it out with some Christmas music. Well, no, we got to do our theme song, too. We have anything here? Yes. I brought multiple boards. Here we go. That's nice. I have multiple new boards here, and it's very confusing.
All right.
Very confusing. James and Dana, thank you. Ed, Dawn, wish you could have been here. Shannon's fight, my heart. Amazing what we came together to do, and still
did some good stuff today.
Yeah, amazing. Let me shut that off. Bullshit. Come on. Any closing words, guys?
No, I think this has been a tough year for a lot of people, and if we could just shed a little bit of light in their lives for a little bit, maybe give them a little bridge over to the new year, where they can continue to help people the way they do every day. That's why I think we've done a job as an organization.
Yeah.
And just as human beings, that can give, that have the opportunity to give. So,
yeah.
I'm happy that we did it.
Amazing. All right. Thank you both for being here. Hang out 1 second while I close out. I'll talk to you after the show.
All right.
Again. Did I tell you that we did some crazy stuff on that episode? I mean, this was, oh my God. It was, I got to tell you, looking back, right, inside look, this was such a fulfilling day for me. We had been planning for a while with Shannon's fight on how to disseminate some of our funds. And we thought of Dana, of course, immediately from the end. She's incredible. The work that they do is incredible, and we wanted to do something really, really nice for them, but really deserving of what they do for others, right? And the conversation kind of grew, and like, hey, we also were talking about Ronald McDonald House. We've done stuff for them through Shannon's fight before, but this time around, and of course I do stuff for them personally, one of my favorite charities, but this time around it was like, hey, can we give them some decent coin, right? Can we make a nice big donation? And the board decided, hey, let's do both. Let's really create some change this year. So that was one of my favorite episodes. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is the road to the holidays for us. We have a really cool holiday episode coming up. So stick around. You might learn something about leadership, and you might actually enjoy yourself. We'll see you next time, guys.
Launch sequence terminated.
Into the black hole. Into the black hole.
The Launchcast is brought to you by Launchpad 516 Studios, produced by Fabrizio Fugazi and executive produced by George Andriopoulos. Marketing and PR by Media Convergence. Theme song by Tommy Lungberg. Music and sound effects are licensed through Epidemic Sound. The Launchcast is hosted with Podbean. Make sure to subscribe to this feed wherever podcasts are available and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts while you're at it, guys. You can find the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Pandora, TuneIn, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Podbean, and everywhere else that podcasts are available. Follow me, George Andriopoulos, the host, at Launchpad CEO on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or follow the show at The Launchcast Show on Facebook and Instagram, or at Launchcast Show on Twitter. Visit our website, thelaunchcast.com, and make sure to follow all the great podcasts produced by Launchpad 516 Studios. We'll see you next time, guys.